Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 series from Macclesfield Town, Save the Silkmen with me, Daniel. Today in episode 4 we've got a double header across two competitions. First we play Leicester under 23s in the Leasing.com trophy, a chance for you to see some of the players that we don't often get to show, to see if we can build on a surprisingly good start to the competition and maybe make an assault on a trophy. And then we're at home to Port Vale, another side expected to be down near the bottom this year. They're currently in 17th. And more importantly, we are flying high in 7th. We've just been on a bit of a poor run and I don't really know how to explain it. But Macclesfield Town in the playoffs with 12 games gone. There is bad news though, and it's the same news that has affected Macclesfield off the pitch. So unfortunately, I'd recorded last week's episodes before the events unfolded during the week beforehand. Macclesfield Town have of course now been relegated to the National League after their points deduction was upheld, and there may well be more changes by the time we've got to this one. But I'm recording this 8 days before it will come out on the Friday beforehand. So I'm a little bit concerned about what may happen with Macclesfield. Hopefully they'll be able to get through to the new season, and if there's any fans watching, I hope you've got a club to support and I hope you're able to compete in the National League next year. That is the most important thing. Here in our little FM save, the same thing is happening off the pitch. The finances, after an initial improvement at the start of pre-season, are nosediving very quickly back down again, and we are in desperate need of an FA Cup run. We've got a couple of players out, but we're still £1,500, in fact £1,600 below the wage budget for the year. I don't know what more I can do from my side of things. We've built a really good squad, we've done it under budget, and it looks like the budget they've given us is far too high. But firstly, if you are looking forward to this episode, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM20 content. We'll be back later today with the head coach, of course. We've got much more coming over the next week or so. And don't forget to check out the weekly live streams every Tuesday morning as well. We have a bit of fun, hang out, talk football and all other sorts of stuff. And we do play a little bit of FM in the background as well. But this is going to be a big episode. Leicester under 23s without Luke Thomas. For those of you that have followed the Dorking save, you will know he is one of the greatest players in that series for us, or has been before he left the club. He also made an impression in the Premier League game after the lockdown. He came in and was absolutely brilliant. So there's a lot of positives about him, but there's two big games for us. So let's see the form we've been into coming into it. There haven't been any more deals, of course, outside the transfer window now. Nothing really getting done, and no one going out to non-league either. So if we have a look at the schedule to see what's been happening since you were last with me, we remarkably won our first game in this trophy, and that was at home to Accrington of League One. Jordan Clark scored their goal, a player I'm very keen on now as he's just joined my beloved Luton Town in real life. He looks a very good player, and hopefully he'll be able to do well for us at Kenilworth Road. But we managed to get the better of him in that one. 2 goals scored by Ganua and by David Fitzpatrick from the spot. A 3-0 win followed at home to Crawley in the league. Jordan Cox with a brace and Nathan Cameron got one. We're a few players down due to the international break there, but we managed to get the result, and that's something I'm really proud of. Ellis Chapman in particular playing for England under 19s, as was Keane Lewis Potter. So there is some young talent in this squad, it's very raw. We lost 3-0 at Swindon the following game, not a good display. A 3-2 defeat at home to Newport County, Spyro and Lewis Potter with our goals, and we just collapsed. Amon's a good player, Habergam got an OG, but from 2-0 up we shouldn't be losing those. We did win 1-0 at Grimsby though, an early goal from Theo Archibald securing that, before a defeat by the same scoreline against Colchester. In the 91st minute we threw away a point, but we bounced back against Cambridge. Despite a red card, Keane Lewis Potter's first half goal was enough, and he's picked up a knock and will be rested today, as will almost all of the other 11. So let's go and have a look at this. Our first team completely rested from this fixture. We're getting the backups out. Leicester heavy favourites, you would expect them to be so. And this is the team and squad we've gone for. So Charles Cook in goal, Mitchell getting a rest, O'Keefe and Fitzpatrick in at fullback, Horsfall alongside Pearson at centre half, McCourt, Weir and Bolger the midfield 3, Cox and Gunnar are the wingers, and Wilson up front. We will change some of the roles when we get into the match. We've got a couple of first teamers on the bench as we don't have a massive squad. But Ironside, Whitehead, all the sort of reserves are in there too. So there is plenty of positivity going forward. And let's hope we can get a result today against Leicester. It's going to be a difficult test with the team we've put out. But there's nothing more you can do than try. And here we go, the dreaded front three for our visitors today. Not many names I recognise. Daley Campbell's featured in a story here before. I'm not quite sure which one though. But otherwise, a fairly well-known squad. We're going to encourage the lads because a win gets us through. A draw and a penalty win probably does as well. But that is a lot to ask of this squad. So ball winner on support for Bolger as we change some of the squad roles round. We'll keep him as a deep line playmaker. O'Keefe at right back, he'll manage as he is. And on the wings, we've got Ganua as an inside forward, something that worked really well in the last game. And Cox will be a winger on support or attack. Let's get them a bit more aggressive. Cautious will go, so Ganua can drop to support actually. And Cox will do the same with. We're not going to press too many men forward. We're going to get into the first half through the tunnel interview and try and keep it tight and cagey against our Premier League visitors. A very young side for them, and hopefully we'll come out on top. But it's a corner kick for Leicester already, in towards Hurst. Pearson heads it away, but only as far as Regba. Delivered by Holmes, shut against the bar. Oh, it's gone just off the woodwork. It really deserved a goal in truth. And unfortunately for Leicester, it's not to be, but we're hanging on. Holm will take the corner again, outswinger, headed away by Horsall, but only as far as Shader. Now Holm, headed away by Fitzpatrick, and now Cox can bring it away. And we've got a free kick at the other end. No chance to make these changes. Cox delivers to the back post. McCourt's there, and it's 1-0 Macclesfield. Because of the three up front, I was just putting the fullbacks on a more defensive duty. And this has turned into a cracking start. We survive a few scary moments at the back, and then the skipper for the night, Jack McCourt, turns up with a goal, and it is Macclesfield 1, Leicester 0. This is a perfect start in this competition. I'm trying to remember those Luton days in 08-09, the -30 season. Hang on a minute, as they've shot, oh, Charles Cook's made a howler. Oh, what's going on? What on earth is happening? It has eventually gone in, and I have been distracted because that, if you can name me down in the comments a worse goal that you have ever seen than that, a more error-laden goal, I will be absolutely gobsmacked because that was bizarre. Wilson into the box, Ganua heads in, and we're straight back in front again. What a game of football this is turning into. From conceding one of the most ridiculous goals I've ever seen to scoring another good header at the back post, and it is 2-1 Macclesfield. I've completely lost track of what we were talking about as we're still going forward. Horsfall gets it away to the right hand side. Daly Campbell to deliver. And he gets it into the front post. Regba heads just over. And both teams look very susceptible to the headers in the box. And it's a throw on the left hand side again for Fitzpatrick. Finds Wilson. Seems to be doing alright out there. And he's finding those spaces again. Into the channels. Runs into the box. Forces the save from Davies. And unfortunately, Ganua can't do much with the rebound. But he's going to get it back on this left hand side here. Wins the challenge and finds Bolger. He's got two with him. One's McCourt, who of course opened the scoring in this game. And it's back to Horsfall, the centre half. Noah flicks on. It's into Wilson. Through 1-on-1. That is a brilliant finish. And I tell you what, in counter-attacking football, we look sublime. It is 3-1 to Macclesfield. Wilson with a great finish. And I'm starting to get hopeful for this season. We're 7th in the league. We're 2 for 2 in the Checker Trade Trophy by the looks of it. Leasing.com, sorry. I'm still getting it wrong. And this has been a really positive start. Not what I expected with Macclesfield, but it only takes one action off the pitch to ruin it. And we've got a free kick at centre half with Pearson again, who aims it forward, and he's headed away as far as T. He switches it to the right. Hurst gets the ball, delivers into the box, Shade's there, and he's straight at Charles Cook. He really should have scored that. And either side, to be fair, it would have been a goal. But it is still 3-1 at half time. 3 really well worked goals on the counter. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased. We're going to get into the second half. We listened to Danny Butterfield, who has left the club as part of that relegation, rejected a new contract, as did the manager Mark Kennedy. But for us, it's all going well at the moment. So hopefully, Macclesfield will have the same revival we've had. 20 minutes left on the clock. It's been a quiet second half. Probably suits us at 3-1. But Holm picks it up here, and one goal back could make it a very nervy grandstand finish. And it's out wide to Johnson, overlapping on the right. Chance to deliver into the box. That was too easy. I mean, he's hit the post, and O'Keefe clears it behind. But we probably deserve to concede there. It is a corner kick to Leicester, and we had a couple of scares from these early on in the first half. Holmes ball in, Hurst heads it, and it's straight at Charles Cook, who claims really well. Good goalkeeping, and with 20 to go, it remains 3-1. Bolger's on the yellow card, so we're going to replace him. I think it's Kirby who's going to come on in central midfield. He'll be a centre midfielder on support. We've also got to think about changes at the back. Horsfall's struggling physically. Pearson's not really a centre half. O'Keefe's on a booking at right back. And I don't want to take any of the attacking stars off. So I think we're going to go for Phillips at right back. And we're going to replace Horsfall with Cameron just to try and make us as strong as possible. 20 minutes to go, let's hold on. And it's a corner kick for Leicester on this right hand side. Holm gets it in and he's headed away by Ganua, but it's been chased by Hurst, who will probably get there first. Picks it up on the left, switches the play. Goes as far as Johnson, still overlapping on that right hand side. Beats a man and shoots from miles out. It's just over the bar onto the roof of the net. But as Accrington are losing to Rotherham again, we're going to be through. A 3-1 victory, 6 points out of 6. And that is just what we needed. Cup runs and financial gains are crucial for Macclesfield, and probably just as crucial as survival. A fantastic result to start. Another £10,000, another qualification for the next round. And we've got the FA Cup ties coming up next month as well. They're going to be even more crucial financially. So we've made it through with a game to spare. I've no idea how. And we'll be back on Saturday to face Port Vale. Hopefully not too many on international duty. Charles Cook, Archibald and Chapman by the looks. But we'll be back for that one in a moment. The first team should be nice and refreshed. We're back to face Port Vale with 10 places but just 6 points separating the sides. It is still very close in League 2. We're there on 20 points, but actually we're 8 points away from 20th. So let's not get too excited. It could all turn around very quickly. We've got 3 players on international duty. Shiloh Tracy's still out injured. So let's go and make our changes to the squad. Get our first 11 back in order. We'll be back in a moment to run through it. Here's the 11 then. Archibald missing from the first team, as of course is the other central midfielder in Chapman. They are both on international duty. So we are with this 11 for today, and I think it's as strong as we can be. We're going to have to make some changes to roles again, but otherwise I'm happy with where we are. We've got Mitchell in goal, Phillips and Habergam the fullbacks, with Kelleher and Cameron at centre-half. That brings its own problem for the January window mid-season. Nathan Cameron is wanted by Fleetwood in League 1. He's our best rated defender, and given the financial situation, are we going to be able to refuse offers? Are we even going to get the option, or will it be taken out of our hands? That's something we'll have to wait and see. We've got McCourt in the holding role, Kirby and Flanagan in central midfield, Cox and Lewis Potter over on the wings, and then Spyro on his own up front, but with game changers on the bench. The likes of Ganua, Wilson, Weir and Bolger there. Fitzpatrick at left back if we need a penalty specialist. And of course defensive changes too. So into the game we go. Macclesfield v Port Vale. Can we continue a very solid and very promising start to the season? Fingers crossed. 4-2-1-3. We've seen this a few times. 2 defensive line midfielders. They've got Evans in the holding role, but also Oyaliki, someone we've had before. They've got Vokins at left back. They've got a lot of players we recognise. Tom Pope, of course, a fairly reputable character up front. And lots of quality players. Montano and Amu. Pace, experience and quality. We're going to have to be careful. We're going to ask the lads to pick up where they left off. We're going to change the roles and duties again. So Cox as a winger on support. We've dropped Kirby to a support duty. And we will also have Lewis Potter as an inside forward on support. And let's just see if we can get something out of this. On the counter, we'll always be a threat. And we need to make sure that we carry that into the game. Lewis Potter is a star. He's still training well. He's still improving. And he's played for England under 19s. And he might turn out to be the steal of the season. Into the first half, can we beat Port Vale as well? 15 minutes gone. No shots at either end. As Vokins hits the bar from a wide free kick. The keeper was completely beaten. And now Cox clears it downfield. And Spyro's got a chance to counter. We'd do very well to get a goal out of this. Spyro gets it. Challenged but still keeps possession. And McCourt hoofs it out for a throw because of an injury. Very sporting for the man on a yellow card. But unfortunately, no real highlights or chances at all for either side yet. And it's a free kick from a similar position for Port Vale. Swung into the back post. Smith heads just wide via the bar. It's a really good delivery. Vokins is excellent at that. I'm sure he was at Southampton as a youngster. He was. He's on loan from there. He's a really good player. He's got good set-piece delivery. And he's causing us all sorts of trouble here. But again, a bit like some of the other games we've shown, we've been defensively solid. And at half-time is 0-0. And all we need to do is keep doing this and then nicking late goals on the counter. I'd love to play good football, but this isn't the time to do it. We've got to make sure we get results and get at least 12 points clear of the relegation zone, knowing that we may well go into administration. The finances are awful. They're struggling to find an owner. And we need to make sure we're well out of danger. As Worrell puts the ball in to the back post, off the line by Lewis Potter and Habergam. It looked like Pope had a tap in there, and it was brilliant last-ditch defending. And it's a corner on the right-hand side again. Worrell delivers. Taylor's header tipped over the bar. Mitchell making a save this time. We're going to push the wingers to more attacking duties, Lewis Potter in particular to his preferred inverted winger role, and we're just going to hope that makes an impact for the next 5. If not, we'll make changes. As Vokins delivers from that left-hand side, a good in-swinger, and it's a free kick to Macclesfield after a foul from Clark. That is exactly what we wanted. 25 to go, we're being outplayed, but we've still got a sniff. So we've demanded a bit more from the lads to get some focus. Cox is struggling for fitness. He did play 90 minutes in midweek. He's going to be replaced by Ganua, who will come on the left, inside forward on support. And Lewis Potter off the right wing will be a winger on attack. He's happy doing that. In midfield, Connor Kirby, again, not having his best game. So it'll be Aaron Bolger on for him, ball winner on support. Let's try and get a bit more of a foothold in the middle. And then who else do we take off? We've got one more sub, but I think we're going to leave it 10 more. And we're into the last 10. Mark Cullen has come on up front for Port Vale. And we will react by bringing Wilson on up front for Spyro. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go. 0-0 by no means a disaster. But it's a Port Vale set piece as Vokins takes. Kelleher heads away, but Taylor will get there first. And we've got to really try and stop that delivery. Taylor inside to Legg. Back out to Taylor again. Leon Legg inside to Oyaliki. And they've got 2 men over on the right. And it's back to Evans who finds Worrell. This is all Port Vale and it's not good timing. Into a moo and it's a good header. 1-0 they lead, and now we've got to go attacking. With a minute and a half plus stoppages to go, we're going to get more attacking duties on, and we're going to get further forward and try and nick something late on out of this game. Aaron Phillips will go forward, as will Habergam over on the left. We'll push much further forward as well. We're going to try and get right up the pitch and scare them in the last minute. It's something completely different for us, and it's something that may well be different for our opponent. So into the last 2 minutes we go. It is Macclesfield 0, Port Vale 1, and we continue to be better on the road than we are at home. But I'm afraid nothing came of it. We missed 2 key players on international duty, and it has backfired. So we tell the lads we're disappointed, and we're just starting to drop. Remarkably, we're still in the playoffs, but now 8 points takes us down to 21st. 5 points down to 18th. It is becoming a very tight and tense battle in League 2. A couple of teams with games in hand due to the internationals, but otherwise, probably inconsistency starting to cost us. And I still wonder at this stage, are we going to be able to get 12 points clear? Because I've got a real sneaky suspicion, particularly looking at the finances, that we're going to need it. So that's where we are at the moment. Let's have a look at when we're next going to be back. Of course, we could well get a big FA Cup first round tie. And either way, I would like to come back around then. Carlisle, Mansfield, big games. Salford, of course, had a spell. Crewe at the top of the table and Plymouth both promoted in real life. And Plymouth side containing Anthony Sarcevic, of course a hero of the interview series on the podcast. He's had about 2,500 views. He's been a real great supporter for us. So I'd love to let him have a starring role in this series. But either way, we will be back at some point around then, between November and early December time. So if you are looking forward to that and you did enjoy this episode, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel down below for daily FM20 content, a weekly stadium review series and a weekly live stream as well. That's every Tuesday morning at 10 AM, so please do pop along and say hello and turn those notifications on to stay up to date as every bit of new content is released. Let me know in the comments whether you think this will be the start of a slide. That's 3 home defeats in the league in a row now. And I've got to be worried that that's the start of something big. But we'll keep positive, we'll keep trying to push over, and fingers crossed we'll be able to keep the finances in check too. But we desperately need a takeover. We are under embargo, and we are awaiting something to happen. But if it doesn't happen soon, administration is looming, and points deductions will of course follow. Finally, I did briefly mention the podcast as we finish on the competition screen. Please do check out all of the interviews with pros. We had a recent podcast based on the Macclesfield saga as well, so please do check that out if you're a fan. But a big thanks for watching this one and your continued support of the series and channel in general. And I hope to see you the same time tomorrow in this one as we try to make Macclesfield back into form.